Teamwork is a key component for success in any field, including the field of learning and development. Within your career, you will find it necessary and desirable to work as a valuable team member, helping to complete projects on time and within budget. In this video, we'll be covering the top 3 reasons why teamwork is important. You'll hear from folks within the field on the importance of working together to achieve a common goal. Number 1, multiple perspectives. One of the greatest advantages of teamwork is hearing from a variety of people on a singular topic. Discussing a question as a group and giving each group member a chance to express their thoughts is a productive way to form a cumulative response and to learn from each other. This kind of collaboration is essential when working on projects that cannot be accomplished by a single person. In larger or multifaceted projects, you will need to work with a group to meet a client's needs, respond to a formal request for proposal, or to design the perfect e-learning module or simulation.
I think it's actually a great opportunity when you have someone disagree with you. It helps you to formalize why you've chosen to take a particular path. So you have to kind of justify this is the reasoning behind it. And I always encourage you to listen to what the other person's reasoning is. If someone's disagreeing with you, likely it's because they're also trying to get the best for the client or the end result. So if you keep that as your primary focus, you're trying to serve the best interests, the best educational techniques, the best technology, or whatever the decision is, that'll help you guide and learn when you have to compromise and when you have to stick your ground.
Number 2, increase motivation. When working in a team setting, there often arises an incentive to work well with your team so you don't let them down. This reluctance to disappoint your team can be extremely motivating, encouraging team members to work harder for their team in order to succeed. Having motivated team members also helps to increase productivity, both your own and your team's, and it also helps to ensure all team members are equally assisting to reach the team's goals. Motivation is a key attribute necessary for success with projects, especially those with a client.
So when I started where I am now, I helped build the team that I have. And I will say the work that I'm producing now with a team of people is probably the best that I've ever produced. Once we got to a point where I could really, again, phone a friend, right? and not get stuck on a problem and you know, where we, on weekly calls, we are sharing our projects and kind of sharing how we've come up with different things or solutions or what our courses are looking like. And the more we share with each other, the better our solutions are. We don't have to own it all, we don't have to do it all, but when we're working in collaboration, we can really accomplish amazing things.
Number 3, alleviated stress. When working on a difficult problem individually, a task can seem more daunting or intimidating. Meanwhile, working with a team can help eliminate the stress of completing a difficult problem or tackling a difficult client need. Operating in a team setting creates a shared sense of responsibility, which in turn alleviates the pressure of completing a task. This reduced sense of stress can lead to huge benefits, such as an increased willingness for team members to be open with each other and take bigger risks than they would have individually. When working with a client or presenting a formal proposal to a room full of people, it is important to work confidently, which is much easier to achieve when working alongside several team members.
So for working on a team on a project, you can spread responsibility out and you use your best players and use their strengths, but you don't have to be responsible for everything. And working on a team, you get that collaboration too with other people and being able to bounce ideas off of or look for feedback or whatever it might be. So just having more people on a team is beneficial.
In summary, 3 huge benefits of teamwork are having multiple perspectives on a topic, increasing motivation in a group, and creating a less stressful work environment. However, teamwork can go wrong. To keep your team on target, you should do the following. Establish team goals and roles. Determine what your team wants to achieve at the beginning of a project to ensure everyone is on the same page. Decide who is contributing what to the team. It is important that everyone understands their roles and what they're expected to accomplish. Listen to teammates' opinions and ideas. You alone do not have the best idea or only approach to success. You need to listen with an open mind to opinions, ideas, and thoughts of others. Often, best ideas for projects are a combination of ideas from several team members. Seek to understand the perspectives and ideas of teammates before you dismiss their ideas.
I think sometimes what happens when we're working in teams is that we have some personal preference that gets involved. Either because of experience, like you know, based on my experience, this has worked in the past, so I think this is what we should do. Or just, I feel more comfortable with this solution because I think that I can do it. You know, making sure that we're looking at each problem through the lens of the learner, like how is this benefiting the learner, and if we do this, how is it going to affect the learner, and making sure that that's always like our goal really has helped us mitigate some of those kind of conflicting issues.
Professionalism is critical. You always want to respect your fellow teammates and act professional at all times. Most likely, you will not know all the details of the personal and private lives of your teammates, and you don't need to, but you must remind yourself that they may be dealing with situations of which you have no idea. This means you always need to give them the benefit of the doubt and treat them with respect and dignity.
If you can't work with people and communicate effectively and be empathetic towards them and be personable, you're really not going to get anywhere no matter how good you are at the job. And I've had experiences with that in the program where, you know, maybe people aren't looking at their emails or looking at their phone or just not putting out a great effort with projects, and you have to adjust and reallocate how you're going to get things done.
Establishing communication kind of guidelines at the beginning when you're forming the team is critical. Determine if people communicate by email, text, whatever their preferred method is. You want to make sure that you designate that for the whole team. So you know where people are going to be communicating with you, and you know where to send effective communication.
Set meeting agendas and to-do lists. Meetings can wander and become a waste of time if they do not follow a strict agenda. Make sure you create an agenda for every meeting with a strict timetable. This will help meetings to remain productive and help keep everyone on track. Additionally, creating a to-do list at the end of every meeting with names and tasks will help hold everyone accountable for what needs to be accomplished and what they are to do prior to the next meeting. This helps keep a record of who is on task while simultaneously making all tasks visible to the entire team.
I found it helpful when working in groups to have a centralized task list. So go into a meeting with an agenda, this is what we're going to cover, and go out of it with a to-do list. Who's covering which task, and have it somewhere central, whether it's a shared document or on a shared drive, but something that people can refer back to 3 days from the meeting when they forgot what you told them to do. That way you know you're covering your perspective and everyone else knows what they're supposed to cover.
Establish clear lines of communication among all team members. Determine what the best method is for communication with each team member and the team as a whole. Are you going to use text messages, email, a team tool? It is important to establish communication expectations and the best way to communicate with your team early on. Not every request or call for information needs to be answered immediately, and not every request can wait 48 hours. It seems basic and like it won't be a problem, and typically it's not. However, when things are stressed or when deadlines are being missed, having previously established ground rules for communication is key for overcoming these rough patches.
Communication, kind of like working on a team, is, I think, everything. I mean, I've heard it for other jobs too, in other fields of work, that anyone can learn those hard skills of actually doing the job, but the soft skills of being able to communicate and relate to the people you're working with is really everything.